Thank you all for paying for the dinner too. We did plan on that and for making it all possible for us to have this weekend up here. Thank you. And you want me to repeat what I just said? How I got
No, that's okay. Okay, Dad. Let's hear your side of the story.
Okay. To reiterate what Mom just told you.
What do you mean? Why?
I'm going to repeat.
We're getting the mail version. The mail version.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. I know for some of you it was took quite an effort to get here, and we appreciate that. Thank you for contributing to the party, and especially for the thoughtful gift of a bench in the park. We haven't seen it yet. It's still in the factory being assembled, so we should be getting it pretty soon.
And what else? I was going to say something more about. Are you finished?
No.
Oh.
You could have my glass if you wanted. I'll have a beer.
Going back to the early years of our marriage,
or I'll drink yours.
there was a special year that had an impact on our lives, and that was 1957. Early that year, we moved back to San Diego after having been gone for 2 years to start a new life. And there was an opening for a job in Coronado. So I applied for that, and I got the job. And
I thought we moved down first before you got the job. We moved without a job.
Yeah, we moved down first.
Without a job with 2 kids. A 1-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Ocean Beach.
Those were different times.
Okay, and out of my salary, this lady sitting next to me would put away a couple of dollars here and there so we could have a vacation in the summer, which we did, and usually went to Yosemite for a week's camping.
Oh yes,
right on the river.
That was fun.
And that was fun.
Mom would wash her hair in the Merced.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, we never had much money, but I do remember the year that I saved $2 out of grocery money. I got $20 a week, and I saved 2. We lived in Margarita Street in Coronado, and I saved it. And there was a tent I was going to buy from a friend that had a 3-bedroom tent for $100. And at the end of the year, I had $100 to buy the tent and surprised him. So we got this 3-bedroom tent for Christmas.
$100?
It was used.
Yeah,
It was a big one.
Now you get it from China for $50.
It was.
Another thing that happened that same year,
Right.
we met our best friends, lifelong friends, Frank and Bernice, and they were telling us they were looking into buying a new home in this brand new subdivision close to where they live. So we checked it out, and sure enough, we bought our first home.
Wow. Jonas
Okay.
Jonas Court.
That's right, just before,
Jonas Court.
before Scott was
I
born.
thought you met them after you lived there.
No,
We met them before.
I met Bernice in a class at the Y Wives,
Oh yeah. Okay.
and just had Kevin and Steve were in the class.
Talked you into moving
No,
to...
she just told me where there he lived, that it was a good deal, and it was a new section going in.
Where did you live?
We rented a house in Ocean Beach, right on the water. We were just renting.
West Point on the Boulevard.
And we had to have $100 we had to save for a down payment.
Yeah, at that time, brand new homes in Coronado were selling for $18,000. And that was way above what we could afford. We couldn't...
But they weren't made as well as ours either.
Right.
That's the Country Club Estates, the newer part of
The
Coronado.
new houses,
Yep.
new houses.
Yep.
So we didn't even consider that. We felt we couldn't afford it. But we ended up buying one in San Diego for a brand new 3-bedroom, 2-bath, was it? Yeah, for $16,000. And I used to commute to Coronado every day.
Well, tell them how
I
you
would
did it.
drive my car down to the ferry landing, and there was a big lot there, free parking. I would park the car there, take the ferry across, and I had my bicycle on the Coronado side of the ferry terminal. So that's how I got to work every day. And another thing that happened later that year was our number 3 boy was born, Scott, 1957.
There he is.
57.
And the rest is history.
But you want to hear how?
Wait, weren't there some more
I have to
kids?
tell you We'll tell you about Scott. I know you've all heard this story a lot of times, but Scott, when we still had dirt roads up there, we didn't have our telephones in, and I went into in San Diego, our new house, and we'd only been there 6
They
weeks.
hadn't paved and then no wires.
No, we had bought them, but my labor started, and I didn't have a phone. Nobody had phones. Dad had gone to work, so I went next door to Nancy Newberry, and she said that she had a friend that had a phone in the other part of town.
A cell phone?
Why did they have phones?
It was a new settlement.
It hadn't been installed yet.
Okay.
Boy,
you were like pioneers.
Wow.
And the streets hadn't been paved yet.
Wow.
And we went and we used her phone, and then Dad quick came home and took Steve to one friend's house and Kevin to another friend's house. Went to the hospital, dropped me off, went to the hospital. He went back to work, and he called me. I called him later in the afternoon about 5. Scott was born very quickly without the doctor being there, and the nurse was there, and it was all right. And then I called to ask him if he could bring me a milkshake on the way to the hospital that night. And he says, well, when do you think you're going to have the baby? I said, well, didn't they tell you? Because I'd had him a couple hours before. So that's what I was going to talk about enough.
Okay,
And then I want
great.
to have Marla volunteered to read this, the ode that Julia Burton wrote for our 50th. And since the kids here weren't old enough to remember, everybody can have a copy. And you want to read it?
You know, he's brought in some.
Our 50 year
Years ago.
and you kids were so little, I thought maybe you'd want to hear it again. And also,
Laura,
that
sit
night
down,
was
please.
very confusing with a lot of people there. I couldn't hear that well. So.
I don't
And I
remember
enjoyed hearing
I don't think I was
myself the other day.
confused.
Okay.
And I can tell you, I did not. I don't think any of us heard this. Let me tell you, I didn't know Judy was writing this, and I used to cut her hair, and she sort of remembered everything I said. And some of those things that I was shocked.
Not supposed to leave the shop.
Yeah.
By the way, where was your coffee shop? Where was that coffee shop? Never mind.
Hear ye, gather around, there's a tale to be told, and if ye have it in ya, note Bill in Virginia, whose love story's now a half-century old. In a college math class with their destiny nigh, she did glance across the aisle and gave him a smile. He left that first class with a gleam in his eye. Their first date was in his 1935 Ford. Running board was included, rumble seat most secluded. Important, don't fail me now, he implored. He was wanted to see her again and again. They did dance to Les Brown and his band of renown and drove down to Balboa, quaint island back then. He had joined with the Navy, dental tech he would be. San Diego his station, so for the duration, Virginia'd come visit him at NTC. His 20th birthday was when Cupid's dart, as our source is disclosing, sent Bill to proposing, slow dancing to rhythms of my foolish heart. Well, this could be forever, the two of them thought, and in case you should query, 'twas in January, when in Pasadena they did tie the knot. The festivities over, was time opportune for young Bill to reward her. They head for the border, to old Ensenada for a quick honeymoon. Their first home was a trailer, 19 feet front to rear, had an icebox for cooling, lacked bathroom, no fooling. The marriage survived, else we wouldn't be here. Steve was born at Balboa, the first of the 6, and then Bill left the Navy, learned to cut hair that's wavy, and thick and it's thinning with scissors quick flicks. They became Angelinos for a couple of years, but then later, we reckon, our soft land did beckon, and to San Diego they took their careers. When there was one baby, they practiced on him, and then bundles from heaven were Scott, also Kevin, girls Marla and Kelly, preceded by Kim.